Okay, let's talk about the very first step of any research project. That moment you have to actually choose what you're going to study. It can feel a little intimidating, right? But honestly, this is the most important decision you'll make. Get it right, and you've set yourself up for success. Get it wrong, and well, things can get really tough really fast.
So to walk us through this, we're going to be leaning on a real classic. This is C.R. Kothari's research methodology. For years, this book has been the go-to guide for researchers everywhere because it just lays everything out so clearly. It really gives you a solid, systematic way to think about your work.
And Kothari does not mess around. He says right up front that picking your research problem is the most crucial step of all. Think about it like you're building a house. This decision is the foundation. Everything else you do, how you collect your data, how you analyze it, all of it is built on top of this one choice. If that foundation is shaky, the whole project could fall apart.
I love this quote from Kothari because it gets at something really deep. A good research problem isn't something you can just pick out of a hat. It has to come from you. It needs to grow out of your own genuine curiosity, your own way of thinking. It's got to be personal. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to use a kind of funnel approach based on Kothari's advice. We'll start with all your broad ideas, and step by step, we'll narrow them down until we're left with one single, focused, and most importantly, doable research problem.
Right. So just to really hammer this point home before we start filtering, the problem you choose literally dictates everything that comes next. It's going to shape the data you need, the methods you use, and what kind of conclusions you can even come to. It is, without a doubt, the biggest decision you'll make in this whole process.
Okay, let's start pouring those initial ideas into the top of our funnel. This first set of filters is all about spotting those common traps that can snag you right at the beginning.
So Kothari suggests 3 initial checks. First up, try to avoid subjects that have been researched to death. It's just really hard to say something new and meaningful when a topic is already completely saturated. Second, he advises being careful with super controversial topics. They often demand a ton of background knowledge just to navigate the debate fairly, which can be a huge challenge. And third, and this is a big one, you have to get specific. Don't be vague.
And this slide shows you exactly what that means. Look at the left side. Why is productivity different in some countries? That's a thought, sure, but it's not a research problem. You could spend a lifetime on that. Now look at the right. See how focused it is? We have specific industries, auto, a specific metric, labor productivity, a specific comparison, Japan and India, and a specific time frame, 2015 to 2025. Now that is a problem you can actually get your arms around and solve.
Great, so our idea has passed the first filter. But now we come to something that's just as critical, the you filter. A problem might look perfect on paper, but if it's not the right problem for you, it's just not the right problem. This is the key question you've got to ask yourself. Kothari is really clear on this. You need to have some familiarity with the subject. You don't have to be the world's top expert, but you can't be starting from absolute zero either. Research is challenging enough as it is, you know? So this really boils down to being honest with yourself. Can you actually do this? Can you get your hands on the books and articles you need? If your project involves talking to people, can you realistically reach them? It's all about knowing your starting point and what resources you actually have access to. Okay, now we're getting to the most practical filter of all. This is where the rubber really meets the road. We've talked about the topic and about you, now let's talk about the cold, hard facts: time, money, and skills.
This isn't about passion or excitement anymore. This is about a frank, honest self-assessment. It's wonderful to have a grand vision, but it's even better to have a project you can actually finish. Before you lock in your choice, you have to get real about the practical limits.
This is basically Kothari's reality checklist. Do you have the right training for this? Do you have the statistical know-how? What about money? Research can get expensive. Do you have a budget for it? And be realistic about your time. Do you have months or years? Finally, if you need people to participate, will they actually agree to help you? If you get a hard no on any of these, it might be time to rethink things.
All right, we've made it to the very bottom of the funnel. Your idea has passed the initial checks, it's a good fit for you, and it seems practical. There's just one last test, and this one is especially for those of you who are venturing into brand new territory.
What's so smart about Kothari's approach here is his sense of caution. If you're working on something so new that the methods aren't even established yet, you're taking on a whole other level of risk. You're not just finding an answer, you might have to invent the way to find the answer. And to handle that risk, he recommends doing a preliminary study. You can also call it a feasibility study. It's basically like a pilot episode for your research. It's a small-scale trial run. The goal isn't to get the final answer, but to test out your methods, see what problems pop up, and figure out if your timeline and budget are realistic. It's a fantastic safeguard.
And there we go. By moving through these different filters, from the general topic to your personal fit to the practical realities, you've done it. You've taken a vague interest and refined it into a solid, strong, and achievable research problem. Your foundation is now built.
So the main takeaway here is that choosing a research problem isn't about waiting around for some magical flash of inspiration. Not at all. It's a process. It's a systematic, thoughtful way of narrowing down your focus. You now have the playbook from one of the best in the business. So the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve?